Today's project is part 3 of this XR70. Last time we rebuilt the motor. Today hopefully we can get it in the frame and start it for the first time. So let's get right into it. Alright, it's time to give this thing a bash. Alright, I got the frame all cleaned up, so I think it's time to finally throw the motor in here if I can. Which might be harder than it looks. I can finally put the kickstand on now. Now that the motor's on the bike, I'm going to go ahead and add oil so that when I'm kicking it over, it's not going to be dry. I think this takes like 0.8 of a quart or something. Doesn't really matter because this one I'm going to change pretty early, so I'm just going to get it around that. Now that the motor is in, it's time for everyone's favorite test, the cylinder leak down test. I want to make sure this thing's not leaking past the valves real bad. I'm shooting for like, I don't know, 10% or less. Hopefully less. Hopefully around like 5, but it's pretty old, so we'll see. I'm going to put in like 50 pounds. And that's 50 in. It's holding about 48, so 2 pounds of loss. That's 4%. That's not that bad, so I'm happy with that. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and compression test this now. I'm just hoping for like, I don't know, 120 or something. Okay, here's the compression test reading, almost 170, so that's plenty of compression. This thing should start no problem. I want to check for spark next, so I'm going to plug these 2 wires in. It's just this black to black here. And yellow to yellow. And this all just fits in this cover here. I usually tuck it in under that piece there. Something like that. Alright, let's see. Oh, the kill switch was off. Nope. Oh yeah, there we go. Key was off and the kill switch was off, but it's got a good spark. Awesome. Now that we have compression and spark, I want to work on getting this carburetor set up. And when I was looking at it, I noticed that this intake port is quite a bit smaller than what's on the head here. Using this gasket, you can see that it barely shows a little here, and here there's quite a bit. So I'm going to scribe a line and port this out just a little bit with my carbide bit. And this is a spacer that you need to install, and I'm going to have to port that out a little bit too. Alright, I think I'm happy with that, and I'm just going to leave this rough. I think this is going to work. I think that's good too. Here's the setup I'm going with. I'm just going to put a gasket down, and then my spacer here. Not sure if this is directional. I don't think it is. I'll put it this way actually, so the plastic is furthest away from the motor. And then another gasket, and then my intake. Alright, looks good to me. Next up would normally be the carburetor, but I'm going to switch to the throttle cable because this kit came with one, which is quite a bit longer than the original, and it looks like it should bolt right up, so I'm going to throw that on there now. Alright, I can't stand looking at these any longer, so I gotta switch them out real quick. I think this guy glued these on. It's cheap things too. I might come back and do something with this later, but it's good for now. I'm happy with that. Now I need to set this new carb up. I haven't even opened it up yet, so let's see what it's got in here. Should have the spring. It's like a two-piece top. So let's start setting it up. That thing shot away. Okay, I think that's it. I'm gonna hit my throttle. Seems to be working. Let's put it down on the carb, make sure everything's gonna work like we want it to. Not really loving this two-piece top. It's not very snappy though. Might adjust it a little bit and we'll be ready to install. I got the carb nice and snappy now. I just oiled it and cleaned it all up. So as you can see, this already has an O-ring and we can attach it. I think this is hitting right here. Not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but I think this is hitting right here and preventing it from going all the way. So I might have to flip this spacer upside down. Yeah, I had to turn this spacer the other way. Actually, while I'm at it, I'm probably going to add a drain line here before I put this on. This thing also came with this little air filter here. Oh, that's pretty loose though. Let's see how good that tightens up. Looks like everything's set up right, so just gonna hope for the best here. Okay, that's on there. I'm gonna go ahead and put this exhaust in now. Get my gasket in here. I found a good bolt for back here too. Let's get this gas tank put on here real quick. I made a new fuel line with an inline filter here, so I'm just going to attach that real quick. Might have to zip tie that or something. Okay, the fuel is on. There's oil in it. Everything's set up, so let's see if she starts. Okay, this thing started up great, but it just wasn't revving up. So this morning I came out and found a loose ground and checked my valves again. So I think we got it figured out. Here it is. Move on and get this thing back together. I want to cover this hole. I don't know why this was drilled in here. There's no baffle, so it's already loud. I don't want exhaust coming out of here, so let me do something with this. I'm not going to do anything fancy for this. I just have some clamps here. I'm going to clamp them to the inside. There we go. It's not the prettiest, but it should hold. One of the last things that we need to do before I can test ride this is put a new chain and sprocket on. Just need to pump the air up on the tires, get the exhaust back on and seat on. I think it'll be ready. The exhaust is on. I ended up just painting it black. Everything's good with the chain, so we should be able to test drive this thing now. So get her started here, let her warm up, and take her for a spin. Gears are there. Got some kind of crap coming out of my muffler. Okay, it's been a couple days. I was editing the video up and I noticed that when I was driving around it was smoking a little bit. So I just wanted to make a little short thing and say that I think that was just because it was the first 5 minutes and that was like the assembly lube and everything burning off. I rode it for like 20 minutes now and it's not smoking at all, so I'll go ahead and show you guys that now. And yeah, I just wanted to clear that up because I know I'll get some comments on it. Now that I'm thinking of it, it could definitely be from the muffler the other day too, because I had hosed it out and there's a whole bunch of junk in there. So I'm gonna keep riding this thing around. I'll check the level of the oil, but so far so good. Alright, we finally got this XR70 back together and running good. The test drive went great, had all the gears, ran fine. The back tire keeps going flat and the front forks are shot, so I'm going to make some future videos on that. But for now, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.